Yeah, sorry about that, guys. My mom came out and she don't like to be on camera, so I just paused it. And now it's getting too dark to really show y'all anything. But please excuse my extremely. Pat, you quit that. Pat, get out of there. Dog's digging around trying to find us where a squirrel came in. He's also tracking oil everywhere. Uh, but it was getting kind of too dark to show you guys anything. I got the wire replaced. Still not getting voltage to the points. So I don't really know what my next step's going to be. But yeah, what I wound up doing to that tractor is put a 3-point hitch on it. Had it hooked up to the belly mower originally. Switched that over to a linear actuator. Hooked up to a double pole, double throw switch. Jeez, I got kind of sinus drainage. Um, put LED lights on it so that I could do work on it at night or something in the garden if I needed to. I got a plow, a disc, and a cultivator for it. And the cultivator works wonderful. It's a Brindley cultivator. The Brindley disc I had was honestly a piece of crap. I would not recommend you guys getting it. It is made in the USA, but it's made so light, and the discs are, I don't know, it'd probably be different if it had notch discs on it. But the round discs, they don't do anything except if you plow and then go over it with that disc, it tills about a ½ inch deep. So would not recommend getting it. It's just, it's made in the USA. It's real, it seems like good quality for how they built it, but it's just too light to do anything with. And you can only put 100 pounds on there. Even with the 100 pounds, I had the 100 pounds on there when I was disking, and it still only went a ½ inch deep. I don't know what that was. Just flew across the screen. Let's see. I got a new disc for it though. I hadn't tried it out yet. The plow works great with the 3-point hitch, and the cultivator works pretty good. I'm still kind of figuring that out. I had for the longest time I had problems trying to figure out how to prevent the 3-point hitch from moving side to side, because on most tractors they have the sway chains that go from, you know, the backside of the lift arms to a frame on the tractor somewhere, but I didn't have enough room to do that in order to have a spot to mount it. So what I wound up doing was took a chain and ran it from the inside of the 3-point hitch to the pins that I have. I'd have to show you guys so you could see, but pretty much I have it like that. I have chains running on the inside of it, but the problem was the chains. They didn't rotate on the pins. They were too short when it was lifted up and too long when it was down. So when it was up, it wouldn't move, and when it was down, it would move. So when I was plowing, it would move side to side. And you might just be saying, why didn't you just adjust it while it was in the ground? Well, if I did that, I wouldn't be able to pick it up because then the chains would be too short. So then what I wound up doing was I went and got, I can't remember the exact name of it, but let's just call them fence tensioners. You know, on wire fences, it's got 2 eye hooks. One of them's reverse threaded, and basically a nut in between them, and the nut's about that long. The whole thing's about that long closed, and you know, you screw it one way, it pulls the eye hooks in. Screw it the other way, it pushes it out. They put them a lot on wire fences and electric fences and stuff. But I wound up putting 2 of those on there, and those were allowed to move. So I've got that fixed. I need to put lock nuts on it though, because it works loose and it'll wobble a little bit. But if you tighten it up, it'll go up and down, but not side to side at all. So I've got that figured out. I put LED lights on it. I already told y'all that. Sorry. Oh yeah, I had the 3-point hitch hooked up to the belly mower. I already told y'all that too. What else have I done to it? Oh yeah. I've got another double pole, double throw switch that I put on there, and that's going to a plug, because the plan is right now I'm going to put wheels on the disc, because it's a 51-inch Field Tough, I believe is the brand, ATV pull behind, and it's a lot heavier. I told y'all this earlier, but you know, it weighs 160 pounds and it can hold 150, so that's a combined of 310 pounds. I'm only gonna have it weighing total at 260 because I have 100 pounds to put on it, and I'm gonna see how that works. I'm hoping a lot better because it was kind of expensive, but I'm hoping a lot better. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have wheels on there that lift and lower with a linear actuator. So the dog wanted the ball to be thrown, so I kicked it. A linear actuator that lifts and lowers the wheels, and I'm gonna have that wired up to the double pole, double throw. And you know how on the back of tractors, if an implement has hydraulics, they have a hydraulic plug-in. Well, I'm doing the same thing, but with a male and female extension cord end. I'm gonna have, you know, where I can just back up to the disc, hook up to the drawbar, and then plug the extension cords ends together, and then be able to operate that from the tractor. I have yet to do that. I've got a way to do it. I just haven't built it yet. I've got the wheels on the disc. I've got the frame with the wheels on the disc, but I haven't built the complete frame. And then I've got to build a frame to mount the linear actuator on there, and then I've got to wire it. So I've got all that ahead of me. But I figured before I do any of that and spend all that money, I'm going to get it running first. Let's see. What else? I know I've done more than that. Well, I might as well tell y'all about the disc. The disc is a Brindley Hardy. Absolutely sucks. Now, that doesn't mean that they're a bad brand. They're made in America, which I really liked, so that's why I bought it. One of the reasons why I bought it is because it was small. You know, I could pull it behind my tractor just fine. And I'm hoping I can pull this one behind my tractor just fine. Haven't tried it yet. But I got it because I could pull it behind my tractor fine, and it was made in America. But it just sucked. However, the cultivator I got, which is also Brindley, I believe it's Brindley Hardy is the whole name of the company, but I got a cultivator from them, and it's a really well-built cultivator. I mean, it does great. Would you get out of there? Dog's getting in the scrap pile trying to find a squirrel. But it does great. I do have a problem though, is the tractor, it only weighs like 690 pounds. So every once in a while I'll hit a patch of rough dirt and it'll sway the tractor to one side, which can really mess you up if you've ever cultivated. This past year was my first year cultivating, so it really kind of messed me up because then I would have to stop, lift it, back up, and recenter myself, and then set it back down. Because if I turned it to get myself back on track, I would swing the cultivator into the plants, which is something I didn't want to do. So yeah, but it worked great whenever I got it to going good. Cultivated it great, made the soil really loose, which was great. Made in America still, which is great. So that product was absolutely fine. I have no problem with that product. It is a wonderful product for what I was needing to use it for. Shut up! The dog keeps growling because it wants me to throw the ball. But I don't feel like playing with it right now. I play with it all the time. Don't judge me. But yeah, I have no problem with the cultivator, and the disc just sucked. I don't know, it just wasn't heavy enough. So if anybody from Brindley's watching this, sponsor me, and I'll probably do some videos of me cultivating and stuff. I might do that anyway, because I am kind of wanting to get back into making YouTube videos. So I might have videos of me plowing, disking, cultivating, show you guys my garden and stuff. And I'll especially do it if somebody from Brindley sponsored me. So I can quit my job and be a YouTuber full time. Yeah, like I want to do that. I enjoy what I do too much. If anybody from Brindley is watching though, which I highly doubt because I have no subscribers almost. I have like 3 subscribers. But if anybody from Brindley's watching, make the disc heavier. You guys, I mean, the cultivator was wonderful because it's made, I actually have some tines from it in here. I believe these are cast iron tines. Let y'all get a good view of that. They got a nice little point at the end of it. I believe they're cast iron. They kind of feel like cast iron or cast steel. They could be. The paint's kind of rough on them, but honestly, who cares? They're really tough and springy. They're 3/16 thick, which I'm really happy about. But they're also, if I had to guess, probably high carbon steel, because that is the best steel for stuff like this. Because with mild carbon, whenever you're pulling it through, if it gets bent back, it'll stay bent back. With high carbon, it's a lot easier to get a spring into it, where if it hits something, it'll just kind of spring over it. But yeah, I got a C tine cultivator. I wanted to make an S tine, and I could do it. Don't get me wrong. I'm a fabricator. I can do whatever I want to. But this one just came complete with everything. Whereas if I made an S tine, I would have to build the frame for it, measure for the S tines. I'd have to build the frame out of the right stuff too, so that it would fit the S tines. But I would prefer the S tines over this, because this hits something, it doesn't really have a lot of room in it. I don't doubt it could cut through dirt, but if it hits a rock or something, a big rock, it'll probably stop the whole tractor and swing it over. Versus an S-tine. An S-tine just kind of goes over the top of it like this, and has a spring up here and a pivot point here somewhere. And what happens is if it hits something heavy, it'll just spring over it and go back to position. So I would prefer an S-tine, but I was really pleased with this. It did a lot better than I was expecting it. It was like I want to say 175, might not even have been that much. But made in America, made out of good steel, and it does what it's supposed to do, which I was really pleased with. It did exactly what I wanted it to. So I guess that's all of my video. Thank you for watching, everybody. This is actually 2 videos that I'm recording. So if I can't get both of them to mash together into one, I'll wind up uploading this one right after my first one. But thank you all for watching, and stay tuned. I might have some more videos coming out at some point of me still trying to get that tractor running. And have a good day.